Hi, welcome to Clarity Design. This is one of my first After Effects tutorials. We're just going to have a look at some real basics with you and see how we do. So when you open After Effects, you'll get this window open, and obviously you've got certain things you can choose here. You can go straight to help and support if it's your first time. You might want to go and have a look at some stuff there. We can browse some templates if we wanted, or we can open projects. In this case we're going to go to the new composition. Inside that you'll get a menu straight away. This is where you set up your basic settings for a composition. Remember, After Effects is designed to do short pieces of video footage that are very intense in terms of animation and control, whereas Premiere Pro is more of your kind of mainstream video editor. So this is much more about just short phrases of video that you can really control to a high level and a high degree. So it's basically an animation program with a lot of fancy effects to do with video. So let's have a quick look at what's going on down here. So we can change your preset, and this will change certain settings down here as well. Depending on where you live will depend on what you want to select really, and what you've recorded your footage in. If you're bringing in footage that's HD, you might want to be down here or here. If you're using standard PAL, so in the UK we use PAL, you might want to use one of these, and if you're in America, NTSC is probably one of the ones you want to select. We'll go for PAL widescreen at the moment, and I'll go for square pixel, which is a newer version. And you can see what's happening there. It's got a locked aspect ratio. It's changed the width and height. I've chosen that because my computer's actually not particularly fast, and keeping the pixels down is going to help me a little bit. My frame rate can stay at 25 frames per second, and the resolution can stay on full. The start time, I want to start at 0, and the duration, that's 30 seconds. Okay, so that's 30 seconds. So if I wanted to make it longer, I could add a 1 here or 1 there, make it 10 minutes and 30 seconds. I'll just leave it at 30 seconds for now. The background colour, as standard, is black. You could colour pick, or you can select that and choose a different colour. I'm going to leave it as black. I'm going to click OK. There we go. There's my composition. My composition has no layers in it. It's called Composition 1. I'm going to zoom in on that. I'm going to use the full stop and comma icons on the keyboard just above the spacebar to zoom in and zoom out. I've also got this zooming tool up here. I can press Z to invoke it, and I can again zoom in, and if I press Alt I can zoom out. If I draw a marquee I can zoom into certain areas. If I want to zoom out, press Alt, click out. Then I want to centralize it again. Just zoom in and out as you want. Okay, so if I'm zooming with a click, then it will zoom to where I've clicked. Good. Okay, so that's smooth. Obviously the panning tool, the hand allows you to pan, shortcut H. So that allows me to move, if I'm zoomed in, to move across the screen. If I'm working with a lot of detail, quite close up with maybe a HD video, that might be really important. And the selection tool, one of the default tools. It's worth remembering that the V is the shortcut for the selection tool. You'll be coming back to it a lot of times. At the moment, this is our project panel, and at the moment the composition is blank. So we've made a default composition. It's 30 seconds long, 25 frames per second, and there's no resources connected with it. To go and get resources, I mean, there's ways. If you go up to the top, you can insert it, footage, but to go and get some footage, we'll just double click and we can go and find something. This is just default sample file from Windows, so I'll just click that, open. Okay, so there we go. I'll just open that, put that in, and you can see that it's got sound on it here. It's ready to go, and if I wanted to view that without adding it into the composition, just double click on it. That'll open a footage window, and then you can scrub backwards and forwards or play that inside there. Now that still hasn't been added to my footage, to my composition. That's just inside its own footage window. I need to go back to composition, and you'll see there's nothing there yet. If I want to add it to this, there's a number of ways I can do it, but the easiest way is just to click on it and drag it down. Oh, yeah, I did manage it, and the icon didn't change. So you can see this footage is larger than the size of the composition. So if I click play, it will start playing, and it's cropping quite a lot of the sides. So immediately using my selection tool, I can interactively start to change the size of this and place it. Holding shift is going to keep my aspect ratio and that means I can resize it accurately to where I want. In fact, I can make it slightly smaller. Zoom out. Oh, just pick that handle up. Do press shift after you've picked the handle up. I can make it smaller than the composition itself, so that there's a black border all the way around the outside edge if I wanted to. So now you can see that I've got my first layer in my composition panel, and it's been positioned in my scene. That's about all I'm going to say for now, really. Let me just scoot along the top here and let you know what some of these things do, so you're not wondering what all those are. So you've got the rotation tool, unified camera tool. This can be useful when you start making cameras, as will that, the pan behind tool. The rectangle tool allows you to draw masks if you're on a layer, but if you have no layer selected, you can actually draw shapes and it will make a shape layer for you. So you've got different kinds there, different shapes you can scroll through, pressing Q. So we've got now a shape layer here. I can just delete that if I press backspace. It deletes it with it selected. You can see that mask now taking effect inside here, so let's just go and get rid of that as well. Oh, cancel that. Let's just go and get rid of that mask as well. So back to how we were. The pen tool, again, if I've got a layer selected, it will start drawing a mask, and this allows me to select certain shapes, and I've got a lot of control over this. And again, that's made a mask because I had the layer selected. It would have made a shape if I didn't have the layer selected. And I can actually do lots of things to, you can see how I can fade in and out. Actually, it's quite a useful, masks are very useful in After Effects, so it's worth having. Remember, if I want to get rid of it, done something I don't like, press backspace and I'm back to where I was. And then the text tool, this will make a new layer, and off I go, typing my text. You can see the text layer is brand new down here in the layers panel, and just like my image, I can start moving that around and positioning it. So that's the real basics for you, moving along the top there. We'll come across to the brush clone and eraser tool in another tutorial, and also the puppet tools there as well. So they're just a little bit more complex and not your basic functions, so we'll do that another time. Lastly, just down here we've got some information about what's going on. You've got an audio panel to see what's going on there. You've got your preview. It's worth noting that you don't just play animations in After Effects, you can also do something called a RAM preview, and again I'll explain what that is in a new tutorial. It needs some explaining. You've got effects and presets down here in character. Again, this is to do with your type, and then effects and presets allows you to apply all sorts of different effects to whatever you've got selected, and it's very easy to do that sort of thing. Just pick it up, drag it over, and then you'll get your settings up here. Don't worry, the project panel's still there, it's just been shifted along by one. Okay, so it's still there. And then down at the bottom you've got another panel, this one to do paragraphing at the moment, but that can change. If you ever get lost or stuck and you can't see the windows as they were, and you want to get them back to how they were when you first started up, you want to go in Window, Workspace, and you can reset how it was when you started, and that'll help you out if you get stuck. I'm going to leave it there, so just some real basics